What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on Yahoo with a 12-team half PPR mock where we will be selecting 10th overall, so it should be pretty interesting. And while we wait for this thing to kick off, a quick reminder, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section your thoughts along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. Before getting into our breakdown, I want to highlight the sponsor of today's video, OddsJam. OddsJam continues to be the place that I use for all of my sports betting research, from the NFL, NBA, MLB, to daily fantasy and everything in between. But don't just take my word for it. Let me show you firsthand all the amazing tools OddsJam has to offer. Starting with their positive EV tool, which identifies situations where a single sportsbook has mispriced their line compared to the rest of the market. They're basically willing to pay a lot more so that you bet with them compared to the other sportsbook. At the end of the day, you're getting the best odds, essentially a mathematical edge and guaranteed money in the long run. But also available is OddsJam's arbitrage tool, which shows situations where the market is so mispriced that you can bet on both sides and guarantee a risk-free return. OddsJam's calculators show you exactly how much you have to bet on the over and under and what the respective guaranteed risk-free return would be. There's also OddsJam's Sportsbook tool, which consolidates all available market info, over 200 sportsbooks, and provides updates in real time and allows you to see line movement. But my personal favorite is their Fantasy Optimizer tool, which is great for those using PrizePicks, Underdogs, or other daily fantasy sites, as you get to see discrepancies between all of these sportsbooks. Imagine, PrizePicks has a Patrick Mahomes line at 200.5 passing yards, and all other books like FanDuel and Underdog have this line at 230 passing yards. Well, getting the over 200.5 on PrizePicks would be an absolute steal. Guess what? OddsJam does that for you. And the good news is, if you sign up today and use our code PIGSKIN, check the link and promo code in the description of this video, you will get 25% off your first month. OddsJam also has a 7-day free trial, so you get to try before you buy. So don't waste any more time and sign up for OddsJam using our code PIGSKIN today. But with that being said, let's get into it. The first two picks have been made. They are Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, now Christian McCaffrey, third overall. The top running backs continue to be really, really good values. And if you guys have a chance to select them outside of the top two, then I continue to say that is absolutely stealing. Those top two running backs being Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. And we'll just leave it at that. But Tyreek Hill was drafted 4th overall. So again, Austin Eckler here goes 5th, an absolute steal. Saquon Barkley now. I assume by the time we're picking 10th overall, we'll be looking at the likes of, probably Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs. Bijan just got drafted. So if I had my choice, I was going to say I'd love Cooper Kupp to fall to me. He actually does here in a 12-team league, 10th overall. I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to take Cooper Kupp. Here. I think he's by far and away the best wide receiver still left on the board. And then let's look at the running backs. Running back wise, we still have guys like Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs. AJ Brown just got selected. I think going Derrick Henry here makes a lot of sense. If Jonathan Taylor right now, even though I do think at the end of the day he's going to end up playing the full season, but if it was currently right now, late August, a little bit different, I'd be selecting him over Derrick Henry. But I wanted to get myself a running back here because if I went Devontae Adams, because to me he's the next highest ranked wide receiver, we would have been in deep, deep trouble with the running back position in the 3rd round. Let's see if that ends up being correct. But here, just kind of showing you the draft board. The first round, we kind of broke it down until Austin Eckler. Then 6th pick, Saquon, Nick Chubb, Bijan, Tony Pollard. So a huge run on running backs. I like to see that. For our sake, we had to, kind of select a wide receiver due to that. But it's a great wide receiver nonetheless. In fact, one that I would rank right there alongside Justin Jefferson. So, even though it was a big running back run, I think we still end up being winners in it at the end of the day. Then Travis Kelce at the 111, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown. To me, Devontae Adams shouldn't be going after A.J. Brown. That's pretty crazy. I went with Derrick Henry. I could have gone Devontae Adams. Let's see what running backs, again, I'm saying it, are going to be available at the end of the third round, and kind of think back to this inflection point, potentially, this fork in the road. If we had Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams instead of Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry, what this roster could look like. So after our Derrick Henry selection, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, there goes Jonathan Taylor. He would have been my next drafted running back as well, considering the group of guys that were left. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Josh Jacobs, Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, Travis Etienne. Patrick Mahomes goes at the start of the third round. I don't like it. I continue to say that. To me, the top quarterbacks are fool's gold. I would much rather just select a Justin Fields later on, a Justin Herbert, or a Trevor Lawrence. Like the guys that you're passing up on in terms of, wide receivers or running backs, they're just a lot more important in terms of the positional hierarchy. So that's why I don't endorse going this route as far as the quarterbacks early are concerned. Right now, if we look at the top running backs, I'm looking at it. Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon is still there. As soon as I say that, he's literally drafted, and so is Aaron Jones. So I do think we've kind of hit that tier break right now. And yeah, if I had gone back-to-back wide receivers, would not have loved the situation with the running backs. Wide receiver here, I think Calvin Ridley is a very, very solid choice. And then if we can land Keenan Allen afterwards, that's been a situation that I like. Let's do that. So we've got Calvin Ridley to pair with Cooper Kupp. Derrick Henry is our top running back. He's going to shoulder the load. Running backs here that I like, I like Miles Sanders. I like James Conner, Alexander Madison. Let's see if we can wait to land one of those guys. If he was there, my pick here would have been Joe Mixon, and then I would have gotten one of Calvin Ridley or Keenan Allen. Unfortunately, barely missed out on him, but it's okay. This is why I'm very happy in the second round that we did go with Derrick Henry. So we're back on the clock now. In between our selection of Calvin Ridley and this next pick, it was Josh Allen, Breece Hall, and Mark Andrews. So if we went running back, J.K. Dobbins, Kenneth Walker, Cam Akers, I'll roll the dice. Let's see what happens with Madison, with James Conner, etc. I'm going to take another wide receiver, and I'm probably going to go with either Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen. Let's go with Amari Cooper here. And as soon as I say that, he is drafted. So unfortunately, we're going to have to go with Keenan Allen. I really, really did think that Amari Cooper would be available there. But oh well, Keenan Allen is going to be our selection instead. I can't be mad at it. Having him as our third wide receiver, it's not bad. The only reason I was going Amari Cooper, half PPR, I think Keenan Allen is devalued slightly, but oh well. Let's continue to track this thing. Let's look at the draft results. So after we went Keenan Allen, Kenneth Walker, Lamar Jackson, I think we're going to see a little bit of a running back run here, if I had to guess. I think we're going to see, the James Connors of the world, the Alexander Madisons, Damian Pierce, so on and so forth. Or maybe we'll see a little bit of a quarterback run. We've had Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields both being selected in the fourth round. I actually think you can make the case Justin Fields should go ahead of Lamar Jackson. Younger, not as injury prone, if you want to label Lamar Jackson that way. But either way, the fact that Justin Fields is, in a lot of drafts that we do, been drafted like a round after Lamar, if not more, that's been a very, very good value. So here, I think this is much more accurate with where he should actually be going. Now, after that, we see DJ Moore, Damian Pierce, and let's see how these last three picks pan out. TJ Hawkinson, okay. The top tight end available per the rankings. And then let me kind of take a look at what we're working with here, the top players. Yeah, like I kind of expected. The next group of best overall running backs are going. So we saw with Dameon Pierce, Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders will be drafted here shortly, followed by Alexander Madison and James Conner. That would be my guess. Other players that I'm really hoping fall to me. Let's see at the wide receiver position. We're kind of set. We've got Kupp, we've got Ridley, we've got Keenan Allen, but I just want to point out some values here potentially. I like Brendan Ayuk. I really like Marquise Brown. I continue to say that. Jahan Dotson with Terry McLaurin a little bit banged up right now in that preseason action. He becomes a little bit more intriguing. I'm looking at quarterbacks here, 5th round in a 12-team league. So, you kind of have to readjust. If he's there, Trevor Lawrence would be great, but I imagine he won't be. So we could look at tight end. George Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller are kind of at the top of my list. I think maybe we can get lucky. We'll see what all these auto picks here are doing. They've got a quarterback, and a tight end. This guy has a tight end, no quarterback. So we should be good to wait on tight end. And here, with that being the case, let me take a look at running back. Miles Sanders is still there. I think quarterback has to be one of our selections here. Chris Godwin. So it's our turn to draft. Tight end, George Kittle shouldn't be drafted. The way auto pick is going to work, James Conner is really, really tempting. I'm not going to lie. We need a second running back. Yeah, let's go with him. And then depending on what happens, yeah, see, there go Miles Sanders, Alexander Madison. I'm glad I went with James Conner because a little bit of a running back run came. So here we just have to answer the question. Do we want to go with a quarterback? Do we want to go with a tight end? I would rather get a top. I'd rather get a top tight end. I would, but I'm curious where some of these guys end up falling. So I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. I'm a little bit more curious with the Yahoo platform where these tight ends go, because depending on whether we draft on ESPN, etc., NFL, Yahoo, they all kind of go in a different range. But here, yeah, example, we just selected Trevor Lawrence in the 6th round. So again, I continue to say I'd much rather take that value than pay up on these other quarterbacks that are going in the 2nd and 3rd round. So yeah, unfortunately, we will miss out on a top-notch tight end, but we had to make that decision here whether to go Trevor Lawrence or a tight end. The reason, like I said before, I was just really curious where these tight ends would go here on Yahoo. I feel like I haven't done as many mock drafts on Yahoo as of late, so I wanted to get a recalibration point of the tight end position a little bit here. If it was the real deal, I would have gone tight end, but again, it's a mock draft. We can experiment a little bit, and we just compile experience, right? Because there's a much bigger drop-off at the tight end position compared to the quarterback position, and I wouldn't be surprised if, the way this is going, yeah, I mean, huge tight end run here. Who else really needed a quarterback? 1, 2, so only 2 teams needed a quarterback. We could have gotten, looking at the top quarterbacks that are still left, we could have gotten, well, a Deshaun Watson or a Dak Prescott, but I do have Trevor Lawrence ranked higher, so I'm not going to complain too much. Looking at the tight ends here, if we went back in that direction, David Njoku would be the highest guy I have left on my board, followed probably by Dalton Schultz afterwards. So we've got some options here. No worries. We are going to be able to bounce back. If we can get Marquise Brown, I would be very, very happy. I think by far and away he's the best value, or a Rashad White, honestly. At this point in time in the 7th round, getting Alvin Kamara too. So Alvin Kamara is going a lot later in these specific mocks compared to some other spots. And keep in mind, this is a 12-team league. So there is that to remember. So I think, we're going to end up being able to add some depth at the running back position, even though we kind of waited for a little bit longer than normal to add our second running back in James Conner. So we are not in a bad spot by any means. we're going to have to add some depth at tight end, but other than that, I don't think this team has too many holes, especially once we get some running back depth here. I'm very happy with the way this thing has gone. We're going to make 2 more selections and probably call it a day because we've got some more people on auto pick. I don't want you guys just waiting and watching what they're going to do, throw in, kickers, defenses, stuff like that. That's not really educational. So we are going to just make 2 more selections. We're going to have the bulk of our team taken care of. So we are in a good spot right now. Let's see if Marquise Brown is selected or if Alvin Kamara is selected. I'm going to prioritize Alvin Kamara here if he's available, just because, we have already a little bit more depth at wide receiver than we do running back. And I think after Alvin Kamara, assuming he's there, there is a big drop-off. And I think he's the highest upside running back still left on the board. So we're going Alvin Kamara. And he's, again, perfect example. He is a bench piece for us, right? I'd much rather have it that way here. We could go tight end, but Marquise Brown is just too good of a value to pass up. I'm going to queue up some tight ends here for us, and we're going to do it that way. Again, guys that I mentioned that I liked, David Njoku. Let's queue up, if he's still there, Dalton Schultz. He is. Other names, Gerald Everett, I don't mind. I don't mind Sam Laporta. I'm only doing this so that you can kind of, fill in the blank at the tight end position because we're going to wrap this up here. We should be able to get one of those guys. And, like I said, just adding a backup tight end afterwards would be the way I approach this. But, we punted on tight end here, but I think pretty much other than that, our team is very, very strong. Again, we've got a top 10 quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. We've got Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley, Derrick Henry, James Conner. We got Alvin Kamara. Once he comes back from that suspension, that's awesome. We've got Keenan Allen and Marquise Brown. I really, really like this team. Again, we could have gone, maybe we should have gone Darren Waller or George Kittle instead of Trevor Lawrence, and then figure out the quarterback position just a little bit later. That's probably the only thing I would have done differently. But hey, let me know your thoughts. Agree, disagree, one way or the other, along with any other questions you guys might have. I'll do my best to answer them all. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.